So, this video is just a little bit late, isn't it? I mean, I saw this movie like a month ago, had a script I started working on and everything, and here we are. Super speedy, I am not.
That's no good.
Seriously though, what do you expect? I mean, I got a day job to deal with, then some random virus pops up on everybody's radar like a fucking game of Plague Inc. or something, screws up everybody's schedules. Having said that though, I really do hope you guys and your families are doing alright wherever you are, and that you're taking care of yourselves. Hopefully we can get this virus thing knocked out sooner rather than later. On a completely unrelated note, I'm also glad you still care enough about the Sonic movie to check out this video, because, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's ever said this, but it was actually a pretty good movie. I mean, it's not the greatest thing since sliced bread, but my wife and I had a lot of fun watching it. More than we thought we would anyway. The jokes were actually funny, the actors were great, especially Ben Schwartz and Jim Carrey, they had a good dynamic, and there were some decent references to different parts of the Sonic lore scattered throughout the whole thing too. Really the only thing this movie was missing was either some kind of Ugandan Knuckles reference or the Escape from the City track blasting during the final battle between Sonic and Robotnik. I mean, honestly, wouldn't that have been awesome? Lack of more relevant memes aside, at least we got a decent taste of the speed levels this version of Sonic could whip out at a moment's notice. I mean, we saw this guy running around a few historical sites at high speeds, moving fast enough to slam into some of Robotnik's robots without turning himself into a big furry blue splatter mark, and, if we want to believe the claim he made during the beginning of the movie, then that means this version of Sonic could also run the entire length of an island on his home planet in less than 2 seconds as a kid. Holy shit, that sounds fast. How fast exactly? Well, assuming that Sonic's island has about the same dimensions as Oahu, the third largest Hawaiian island, then that means Kid Sonic could run a distance of about 44 miles, or 71 kilometers, in less than 2 seconds, putting his speed somewhere around 79,200 miles an hour, or 127,460 kilometers an hour as a child. That's about 103 times faster than the speed of sound. Now that's pretty fucking fast, but the real question is, how does something like that compare to everything Sonic did after he got older? In other words, just how fast is Paramount's version of Sonic the Hedgehog? Well, let's take a look and find out. Like always, we need a definitive feat to kick things off, and we get an okay one pretty early on in the movie, almost right after we see Kid Sonic arrive on Earth. After a quick time jump gives Sonic a bit to get all grown up in Green Hills, Montana, we get to see what all he does to keep himself entertained while living life here on Earth, like playing ping pong with himself, reading, exercising, all the good stuff. Apparently though, part of living that life means fucking around with local cop Tom, whose Dennis calls him Tim, while the latter is sitting in his squad car bored to tears and pointlessly aiming his speed gun at the empty road. As Tom takes aim, Sonic runs past him twice to see what kind of speeds he can get registered on the gun, with his first attempt netting him a solid 296 miles an hour, or about 476 kilometers an hour, and the second attempt actually jumping up to 300 miles an hour, or about 483 kilometers an hour. For comparison, the Arrowverse version of Barry Allen, in his very first outing as the speedy metahuman known as the Flash, managed to reach a speed of about 700 miles an hour in order to shut down the tornado generated by Clyde Martin.
I'll run around it in the opposite direction, cut off its legs!
You'd have to clock 700 miles per hour to do that.
This means Sonic, in his first provable speed feat in the movie, managed to run less than half the speed Barry managed to whip out in his first episode.
Oh, that sucks.
Having said that though, we know Sonic can go way faster than that. On top of the Kid Sonic Island claim at the beginning of the movie, we also got another claim from Sonic during a bit of narration towards the end of the movie, where he describes his speed as supersonic, putting himself faster than the speed of sound, which sits at about 767 miles an hour, or about 1,234 kilometers an hour. But hey, for those of you who maybe want something a little bit more concrete than just the claims of the main character, don't worry, because Sonic actually manages to casually crush this claim around the start of his road trip with Tom. Soon after Donut Lord agrees to take Sonic to San Francisco so they can pick up his rings, the Blue Blur noticed a sign for the world's largest rubber band ball, quickly speeding off to see it and running back, with gift shop junk in tow, all in what seemed like 2 seconds or so. How he paid for any of that stuff, I have no idea, but what I do know is that the sign advertising the rubber band ball said it was about 10 miles, or about 16 kilometers, ahead of Sonic and Tom. Using a stopwatch, I counted that he raced over there and back in about a single second, putting Sonic's speed in the scene at an impressive 72,000 miles an hour, or about 115,873 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 94.
Mach 50 isn't a real thing.
Oh yeah, Season 2, Barry? Well, Sonic still managed to run over 45 times faster than you did in your first season finale, so go fuck yourself. Seriously though, this is still nowhere near Sonic's fastest speed in the movie. Remember that bar fight he caused, or when he started wrecking Robotnik's machinery towards the end of the movie? If you do, then you might have noticed that everything seemed like it came to a dead stop when Sonic started slipping into, I guess we can call it Sonic time? Either way, as I mentioned in a few of my Flash videos, when you move so fast that everything seems frozen, then there's a good chance that you're moving at light speed.
Alright, as you travel faster and faster, get closer and closer to the speed of light, time ticks more and more slowly for you. If you hit the speed of light, then time stops.
So Paramount Sonic moves at the speed of light confirmed then? Well, it definitely seems like it, but at the same time, if you really pay attention to everything going on in Sonic time, then you know we still see objects and people moving, albeit very slowly. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that what we're seeing here isn't really light speed. But if that's the case, then how fast is Sonic really going? Well, it's tough to say.
Hold it!
Hey guys, Future Dr. Comics here. So, turns out, what I was saying earlier, not exactly true. I mean, it definitely was when I first started working on this video like a month ago, back when the only things I had to work with were a bunch of random notes I scribbled down after I first saw this movie, tons of assumptions, and numbers I pretty much pulled straight out of nowhere, but surprise surprise, it's actually a lot easier to get through a bunch of scaling and math when you have a ton of decent quality clips to go over frame by frame. Thanks for releasing the movie early, Paramount. Anyways, with that in mind, let me toss out my old shitty numbers and redo my calculation of the San Francisco Sonic time scene to see how fast Sonic was really moving. First things first, like when we had to analyze the different Flash time scenes we started getting in the Flash, we can't work out anything in the scene before we know how Sonic time scales to real world time. Thankfully though, I think we get a pretty good idea thanks to some of Sonic's antics towards the end of his run. Just before Robotnik comes after Sonic at super speed, we see the Hedgehog running around Quicksilver style while smashing up a bunch of his eggy looking drones, taking a little bit of extra time towards the end to flip some of the drones around so they end up shooting each other while pew-pewing at them with a pair of finger guns. But if you're paying attention, then you'll notice that the bullets are still moving, albeit very slowly, which is fantastic for us, cause now we can actually scale the speed of the bullets and see how much slower everything moves in Sonic time. Using a stopwatch, I counted that it took about 3 seconds for the bullets from both drones to go from being fired to get to this point, almost meeting each other halfway it looks like, before they end up off screen. There's about 16 of these things of distance to the middle of the screen for the right drone. So assuming the bullets have the same length as a 9mm, then that should be a distance of about 144mm or 0.144 meters. Now I don't know exactly what type of guns Robotnik stapled to these drones, but I do know that they've got some rapid fire action when they try shooting at Sonic, so I'll just guesstimate that they've got the muzzle velocity of a machine gun, which can sit at around 800 meters per second or so on the lowest end. Firing at that speed, it should only take 180 microseconds, or 0.00018 seconds, for a bullet to go 144mm, but as mentioned earlier, we know it takes roughly 3 seconds for the bullet to go that distance. This means every second in Sonic time is actually 60 microseconds, or 0.00006 seconds in real time. So, okay, we got our time frame, now we need a distance. Just before Robotnik jumps into super speed, we see Sonic jumping between a couple different drones, conveniently in about a second in real time. But how far did he jump? Well, based on the bar fight from earlier in the movie, Sonic seems like he's about half as tall as actor James Marsden, who plays Tom. And since Marsden is about 5 feet 10 inches, or 1.778 meters, according to the internet, this makes Sonic 0.889 meters tall, or a little under 3 feet. Not too much shorter than he is in the games, so I think we're probably in the right ballpark with this one. Anyways, based on Sonic's height and the different scenes when we saw both him and a drone on camera, it looks like Robotnik's drones are about as long as he is tall, so about 2 feet long or so. And since Sonic jumps about 4 lengths of these things, that means he managed to cover 8 feet in a single real-world second. But considering how this is Sonic time we're talking about, that means the Supersonic Hedgehog actually managed to move 8 feet in 60 microseconds, putting his speed in the scene at a super impressive 90,909 miles an hour, or about 146,304 kilometers an hour, or about Mach 118. Either way though, that's still nowhere close to the speed Sonic busted out earlier in the road trip with Tom. Just after they got on the road, Tom kicked Sonic out of the car and told him to run to San Francisco himself. Sonic tried running there, but apparently he had some difficulty figuring out where to stop since he ran out to the Pacific Ocean and got a bit waterlogged before deciding to head back. How he managed to find his way to Tom's car a few states away when he couldn't figure out how to not run into a fucking ocean, I have no idea, but this feat's still crazy impressive nonetheless. So how fast was Sonic moving in the scene? Well, that's a bit tough to work out. I mean, the blue blur didn't exactly know where he was going, and Tom wasn't really mapping out how to get to San Francisco from where his truck was, even if he claimed it was a straight shot from where they were sitting. Honestly, there were a number of different places Sonic could have popped up, and any number of distances he could have run out into the ocean after getting there. So with that in mind, I'm guesstimating on the low end for this one, and assuming that the distance he ran was equal to about what you'd get going from Montana City to the edge of Washington, which is somewhere around 575 miles or about 925 kilometers, putting Sonic's back and forth travel distance at 1,150 miles or about 1,851 kilometers. As far as how long it took him to run that distance, I guesstimated in the theater that he took about 3 to 4 seconds, which would put Sonic's speed, even with this crazy lowballed calculation, at a whopping 1,035,000 miles per hour or about 1,665,671 kilometers an hour or about Mach 1,349. But hey, I know some of you guys out there are probably like, but comics, Tom said it was a straight shot to San Francisco from where they were, so what if Sonic just overshot his mark a little bit? Well, if he did, all it does is make this feat more impressive. Assuming he just overshot San Francisco, then that means the to and from distance Sonic ran increases to about 1,600 miles or about 2,575 kilometers, putting his overall running speed at about 1,440,000 miles per hour or 2,317,455 kilometers an hour or Mach 1,877. Going back to CW's Barry Allen, remember when he ran to Vegas in the Season 5 episode Newsflash? In my Season 5 top speed video, we worked out that, while under the effects of some basic mind control, Barry managed to reach a speed of about 71,327 miles per hour while running to the West Coast. That means Sonic, while trying, and failing, to get to San Francisco, managed to run about 14.5 times faster than Season 5 Barry, and that's just considering my lowballed estimate.
Damn!
Seriously though, that's not too bad for the Blue Blur's first live-action outing, is it? Considering how he originally debuted running around at the speed of sound, clocking in at over 1,500 times that speed isn't too shabby. Fingers crossed he'll bust out more insane speed feats when the next movie comes out though, whenever that may be. I mean honestly, wouldn't it be awesome to see this Sonic actually reach light speed, or outrun a black hole, or do any of the other insane things from any of the games he's been in? Considering the rumors that Dr. Robotnik's creating either Metal Sonic or Shadow in his next go-around, then I'd say it's a definite possibility at least. But anyways guys, that's my take on how fast Sonic seems to be in the new movie. If you guys agreed with anything I said in this video, or if you have your own calculations you want to throw out there, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, then go ahead and click that like button, and if you're new, maybe consider clicking that subscribe button too. I've also got links to my Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon in the description. You should probably check those out too. And if you want to see more of my content, then you can click the link to my last video. It's right there in the middle of your screen. Alright, and I will see you all next time.